Hello everyone. Starting day 2 of the project to create a style guide builder. So far everything is gonna be just in Figma. Hopefully when it's done I'll move to implementing this in React in a usable app basically. I had for a second the stream open, sorry for that sound, and the squeaky sound. Gotta find a solution to that soon. So what's next? I like this part here. That's pretty much the features each of those is gonna have, and there's no point. Yeah, I was wondering if there's a point to create an option to add this type of section, but there's definitely no need for this in the first version. Okay, now I think I want to create a bit more here. Oh, and what I wanted to also mention is that Figma has a new update, so we can do dark mode. And the dark mode can let us do something like this, where everything on the left and right is dark, and I just updated as well the background that's usually gray to pretty much to match the UI background, or maybe just make it slightly darker to differentiate them easier. Nice. And what I'm also thinking is that maybe we can have some more stuff in the header, because now, or maybe even not. Let's do it like this. I want to add also an option to have dark mode, and the reason is that you want to test your styles also in dark mode and be able to edit the values. And when you switch to dark mode, all of the variables here will have an inverted, like inverted modifier like this. No, that's not the inverted, sorry. This is a separate feature. So dark contrast, no, moon, yeah, this is good. We'll paste it over here and use the same 18 pixel size by 18. I forgot to lock, like this. And let's also have dark light. And now there's no point to have the moon. Instead, maybe this is better. Again, 18, remove this and use the same color like that. Something like that, maybe. This time I come prepared. Last time I had no water. It was difficult talking. So, yeah, this is what I was thinking now. Those are maybe not ideal as they are, because we need also maybe to have this content. Oh, that's a component. Okay, let's see. Can I edit the main component? This will go inside and it's gonna be centered and in the middle with white color for now. Yes. And this here can be half. No, this stays. But I'll change the font weight a bit so that we separate the two. Where are we at? Yes. Now, why I did this? First, the size. There's nothing. Okay. Where was it? Top left. No layout grid. Come on. The auto layouting is a new cool feature, it seems, but I will not be using it here. I simply want to remove this space. And I feel so stupid. Yes, and this as well to be top. And now I can change this. Like this. Maybe let's make this a bit bigger. Can I change this to be scale maybe? And those here going in here in the middle. Like this, and maybe make it a bit wider. And something broke here, I don't care for now. Now what happened? Ah, I do care. This one, it's gonna be wider, just like this. And actually, let's test now this new feature of the components. I'll make a new box. This is gonna be my new colored box. I am going to remove everything else, like this, and replicate the top one. Now, if I get this color, and I make this into a component, say primary, centered, and this should be positioned in the middle. This is reduced, this is increased, but that's not enough. Actually, no, 20 by 20. And this should not be a button. It should have okay, how to use properties, text value, and this is going to be primary. Now what do we do with it? Not used. And here I have this primary value. So, and I want also some width to be set here. Let's say that's like this. We have the spacing, and we're going to increase the height. Aha. Then this should be a different one. Okay, slightly confused yet, but let's see if we can make this work. Again, text, and this is going to be our hex. Like this. Create, and this is going to be our color. Not boolean value. Oops, there it is. Remove this and use hex. And this will be going down. And the position is over here. Now this can be courier, maybe. Okay. And then we have those two properties and the fill color. Do we need anything else? For now, not. All right. So if I come here, I'll move those over here so I can reference to the values and insert my rectangle, which is an amazing name. I want to rename it color block. Now if I just click here, okay, I'll duplicate this, and for this one I'll copy this text, come here and just paste it. Yes, how much I wanted this in Figma. Next I can come here just and say secondary. I'll take my text, place it here, and I can update the color. And I'll place the third one. No, not here again. Let's use the proper way. Accent. Only one I don't like is that when you hover here, you see this. This looks like a bug. They didn't set the proper height. And I'll separate those a bit with, let's say 24. It's a nice value. Yes. And this one uses this color. And these are gone. I like this. And so much better CPU usage when I'm using OBS and recording at the same time. I think I'm recording. I hope I am. If not, the YouTube video is still gonna be okay. Now, so we have those UI font sizes. And here's the trick. We don't have the uppercase, letter spacing, anything of that sort here. So this is just UI font sizes. Then we can have UI font letter spacing, then we can have UI font line height and stuff like that. And now it's getting complicated. What if UI font becomes like this, and then we have sizes. Basically like that, and this is just title. I'll duplicate this again, and this is going to be line height, and all of this is global. Over here it says global. I'll remove that part and say small, which is, again, this too could be a component. I don't want to make it a component. 1.1. Normal will be 1.3, or maybe let's say 5, and small will be 1.2, and large is 1.7. Oops. And this needs some more spacing. Now I'll take the regular size here and grab some lorem. Do it like this, and now that's gonna be our 1.2. Whoa. And say below that's like this, and there's no need to be that long. Next we have, oh, that doesn't look nice. Maybe like that. It's totally okay. Then this is 1.5. Ah, come on. And the last one is 1.7. Oh, how bad this looks. After all, it has to be nice. So let's switch the layout a bit and say it's going to be like this. Okay, come on. Maybe. And this is 1.5, and once again come on, this is better, like this. And this is the large, and this is the normal. Maybe like this. And every time you add a new one, it's going to be added over here, and those are the line heights. And the reason you would need small, normal, and large is when you have different length of content. So the longer your characters per line, the higher the line height should be. So obviously this doesn't look good. This looks totally fine, and this is maybe even too much. And what we would have if we used 1.2 would be something like this text, and then it's rarely even going to be that long, more like this. And even more likely is that it's going to be like a headline, and you can see how that looks completely normal. There's too much sugar in that, and I'll push it a bit. Yes. All right, let's use a few more colors. I just want to see, because it's very likely that we would have more colors than this. Maybe this is gonna be, let's see if it's white, like this. And now there's what I want to solve as well. And one more, which is gonna be very light blue. So how do we solve this problem? For every color, we need an inverted value. So this is coming over here, and then we have inverted, and this is going to be color. But then that would be font size, and color, no, it's gonna remain value. Can I align it again like this? I can, because that's a hex value and it's gonna fit just nice, just fine. Now, why we need this? Yeah, I prefer to use, oops. Monospaced font here. Okay. This can be moved later. Fine. Now, if we added new colors, I'll duplicate it only once and then I won't care about the right part. No, yeah, so we have one that is white, then we have black, and that's wrong coloring, color names, but I will use it because it's very likely that a designer would name that black. But this whole app could come with its own documentation or guide of how you can name colors, because that's always a question. Accent light, like this. So we have accent light. This is gonna be black. I messed it up. And this is white. Now imagine, oops, this is our white color, then this is our black color, and the accent light is this. So what's the whole deal here? The inverted color is whatever gives you enough contrast between this and this. So here we have no contrast, and what we can do is add an icon like this one maybe. That's not cool. Let's say the icon is over here because we don't want the X to be on top of it. 18 again, and we'll use this orange to be very visible. What if we use something like this? I want to see how it looks like first. And then if those are slightly inset, oops, like this. Okay, now that's a problem, contrast ratio problem, and you gotta fix this. And we're gonna fix it over here though. So let's say this is our color that's gonna be the inverted, which means that this is our text color. And do we have contrast here? Check. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't have the contrast. I don't know yet which one it is. So okay, this doesn't. Yeah, obviously the same. Yeah, this one clearly doesn't have the contrast, and we have highlighted this. Let's reset. Yes. Yeah, there it is. Now this is 3 point something, and we can increase it to this value. And now it has the contrast that it needs. And we set it here and over here. And you can imagine that what I'm doing with this plugin is going to be automatically given here. It's going to highlight that there is a problem. Now, those two are also problematic. Let's see, color checker. Always make sure you have enough contrast in your text. I personally find this super easy to read, but turns out it's not. Okay, and on white. So there it is, not enough. And if you make this a bit darker, now this value would be contrasting enough to be readable. Same with this color. It's way less. So we have to make it like this. And when we copy, all right, so if I use the normal color, how dark? Okay, you're telling me this is easier to read? Seriously? Like, see. Is this easier to read than this? I'll keep it like that. I know the contrast is not enough, but I'll for now keep it like that, and in the future decide if I want to do something else with it. This is white, so it has to be more like this. Like that. Now the whole goal with the invert is just so that you make sure that if you want to use primary color for your background, you take the value, and if you want to place anything on top of it, a text on top of it, use the invert. If you change your color scheme, you change your value, but then you have to check the invert as well, and this is gonna keep it consistent everywhere. Otherwise, if you have this, let's say a very bright green button, click me. Let's make it bigger, bold, here in the middle, and that's gonna be black. Now we do have a very nice contrast here, I'm certain of it. I don't think there's a need to check. Then we change our primary color, which is just this, because here on the text we may use something like color black, and for the background we use color primary. This is our button file. Same here, obviously, but we change the primary color. Let's say this is green, this is black, obviously black, this remains black, and our primary here becomes blue. So we change to blue color. Let's see, say this is our new blue primary color. You definitely don't maintain the same type of contrast here, and we can check this easily. Let's use this color over here, and this becomes black. Now you see the ratio, 2.48 versus here. Again, I'm gonna change only the foreground in this case. Now it's 15:1, and that's why instead of changing your primary color here and keeping this a completely different variable, you use primary invert, and here as well, or inverted, obviously. And now you change both of them. Because you change primary color, you're also changing its invert value, and now the invert value would be white, like this. And this would have probably, I mean, let's see, it should have the contrast. Yes, there it is. Obviously they are swapped, but that doesn't matter, like this. So that's the whole reason to have those two here, so you can have color schemes that can be updatable and you won't break your app. And this here is a clear problem, and I wonder if we want this to be also added here, maybe like this, to indicate that that's not empty, but it's actually not set correctly. And we can have as many colors as we want, and each one of them is a pair of those two values. And that's just for the colors. You don't have that for anything else. Then when you switch to dark mode, we're gonna change the whole app's colors, and you gotta set up again your colors, just the colors. That's all that matters. But you can see how it looks like with the rest of the app. All right, so we have this like that. I'm still worried that this text is just too small. Because those titles are bigger. Let's see. So that's 26. If we go 26 here and it's bold, oops, it's over here. This can easily get bigger. These are gonna be slightly smaller, like 18, and then also uppercase, like this. Yes. And obviously we can have as many variables as we want. And oh, but do you want to reorder them? Yes, I think you would like to reorder stuff. So that's our hover effect here, and we are gonna use a kind of normal UX element that indicates you can grab it and move it like this. Maybe once more. And darker. Like this. Now this is something you can drag and reorder as much as you want, which is gonna move it from the left side as well. I have no idea how I'm gonna implement this yet. UI font now doesn't make sense here, and it's gonna be UI sizes. Line height. Then separately from this, we can have heading sizes. Again, as discussed over here, the heading font sizes, font weight, and everything of that sort. Now about this over here, it kind of makes sense to be like this maybe, or maybe over here. It looks very awkward. What if it's dashed? Maybe a bit more down so that those two are obviously together. Okay, let's go with this. I'm gonna delete this over there, here, and over here. And now this becomes color, should be left aligned. And this is line height. Like this, maybe. Basically, you have the option to have the inverted as well as the label that you've set. And then you can get one of the two values as well. for whatever you've set. Actually, let's make it like this. So we have the label, and then you have inverted. Which gets just the inverted value. So you get both of them for each one. Yeah, that looks better. And here, if you set pixels, it's always gonna turn into M or rem values, and if you set M or rem values, they're gonna stay as they are. Sorry. Let's see what's up in the Discord channel. Nothing new. Okay. Okay, I wonder if I should do any other for now. Let's see other style guides just for reference. Again, what they have. I think I should do the grid. So this is going to be in our components. The font, yeah, the font is also something good to have. Maybe. Ooh, that looks nice. That's pretty. That looks very nice. Let's see the font family. Like this. So we can have this regular effect like this maybe. Then we get some text. With this font. Should we have anything else that's important? Yeah. So this is going to be bold. This is going to be italic. This is going to be underlined like this maybe. I don't know, I'm just experimenting. Nah. And this is going to be italic light, actually not italic. No. Yeah, let's keep it like this, and this is gonna be our, I'll have to make a difference here though. Those are very confusing. is gonna be Inter. That's because that's the name, that's the label, and I need to have something that separates it from the regular text, like here. What can it be? What if it's like in a pill shape? Like this. Maybe increase a bit our letter spacing, like that. Now if I go here and change this, I think it's way better. Yeah. That's why you should make components. And I still didn't do a component. I'm stupid. Okay, so let's say this is my new component, and can I reuse a component here without doing the same thing again? My laptop is gonna fly away with the fans running at maximum. Yeah, that doesn't work like that. Got it. Okay, so I can insert a component and pick this, and then I'll have to replace this again. But that's how you learn when you're stupid. Better. So it's something like this. This goes here. Now we see how confusing this becomes. I'll group this and move them a bit, separate them a bit, I mean. .80 pixels difference between the two, and 80 pixels here again, like this maybe. Now let's duplicate this again. Where was it? Like this. And now we have label and value. The label will be Inter. No primary. Font name. And if it's very long, it's gonna cut over here. And I think there was an option for this, like this. Yeah. So if we say that. You see this effect? It grays out what's not for the font and then adds the dots here. And I'll duplicate this again. Technically the same should apply up here, but the values are different. We move this up, and this is the headings, and it's gonna remain inter. There's no difference. Label value, and this is gone now. And again, the same remains. If you hover over here, this automatically updates to whatever you're doing. Like, you may edit the label, the value, it doesn't matter. Again, it's 8 o'clock, so I have to disable the night shift. Now this is our inter font. And if we have the headings font, it's gonna be down here again. And since we use the same twice, technically it's gonna show up twice over here again, but I'll keep it as it. Actually, I've just removed this. I don't want it to be confusing, and I don't want to have the same one show up twice for the design here. Like this. Yeah, it's a bit loud. I hope there's no noise in the microphone. Okay, now let's see what we do if we have a component selected. Like this. I was not using bold, right? Yeah, it's medium. Bye. Now this is gonna be button. And on the left, I'll have my, let's say, sign up now for free. No. Leave a like, a reminder. Like this. And this is gonna be my button shape. Or like that. Here we're gonna have 4. That's way too big. I can increase a bit the left and right to 22 by 16. Actually 16 is too much, 14. So this is my button here. For each component, I will need a new set of variables for each one. So if I have a second type, I mean, if each variation, so if I have a primary button or secondary button, I need to update values. So I think what's smartest is to have a master component with variation components. And each variation will inherit whatever you set on the master and overwrite whatever you decide to overwrite. So I'll need this for sure to set up this button, and for every next one I need another one of those. Oh. How to make it not look messy with this? I mean, this works perfect over here, but not when your whole component looks like that. Oh yeah, I got it. So I'll have this. Oh, actually this one. as it is here. But the only difference, after all, we are under components, is that it's gonna have a label. Okay, let's say main, not master. Main component, like this. And whatever you change here is gonna update over here. But in order to know which one you're editing, there has to be an indicator. And I want it to be something simple. Maybe like this. No. I'll use this color and give it an outline outside, oops, with the same color but with reduced opacity and bigger size, and this whole thing is going to be a bit bigger. Not like this, that looks terrible. Again, terrible. Let's say that's the one for now. So for my button, I'll have font size. And now there's the trick. The value here needs to be able to use those values over here. So color primary, and this is becoming, I don't want to make the designers follow this structure from here. There has to be a better way to grab. So you can say colors slash primary. So what you do is type C and you automatically get an auto suggestion. If you hit tab, it's gonna auto populate. Then type slash and then you get auto suggestion for all the colors you can grab from. Or if you want, oh, that's the color, background color. Or if you want, you get what, if you want, you just type the hex value. So that's totally fine. But I think it's smart if our components don't get custom values. All the values for the components must be from the global. So you can have sizes down below, like from the layout sizes, and you have to take them like this. I like this much better, but is it gonna be readable in the end? I mean, there's not much space here. That's my worry mainly. There's not much area. Like if you have something longer, like font slash line height slash large, you won't be able to see that. Or then we change, no, there's no, it's almost never good to change stuff like that. But let's see. So we have our label and our value like that. I'm just experimenting for now. So you get colors, primary. And this is no longer gonna be this font. It's back to our standard font. And it's gonna be like this. Then we get this. And this is gonna be primary. I'm gonna have so much struggle implementing this, I'm certain from now. Maybe something like that. But this is something you can type and you can click on it as well. How am I gonna do it? Basically, you get one input field. Like, doesn't matter, it's gonna be like this, which is without suggestion. And as soon as you hit enter to pick, a new field is automatically added and focused, so you can type there as well. And if you hit backspace when there's nothing, it's removed and you get focus on the previous one. I think that would work. But now this is annoying. If I use medium, whoa, more like this. Wow. You have to be able to set this as well, so it's not going to be background color. It's going to be just background or color space background. This is also editable. So you get button, label, value. Like this. And those values are also going to be exported in the global root. Ouch. Is this aligned? No. Wow. I like this better. Now you still get the add new. So we have color background, then wait, but if you can name this, no, it makes sense. Yeah, you can name this because it's gonna be tied to, no, you can't name it. That has to be predefined. You cannot edit this here. Yes, you won't be able to edit this. You can, so if you want to have a button that looks like a ribbon with some effects down here, and those need some custom variables that need to be used to apply it, no, you don't do it. There's no add new. Bye. Then we have foreground. And then we have button font weight. No, let's say border radius. And we add one more for padding. So here we get primary inverted. No, yeah, it does make sense. It's a separate value. So we do have it like that. Then here we have sizes. And here we have border radius UI. Let's say that's how we called it. And then for the paddings, we have sizes, padding, small, padding block, and then we're gonna have padding inline. Let's say this is our button. I think that's enough for this here. So we get the primary color. Let's say it's this, which it inverts, which would be this. Then we have our border radius, which is gonna be replaced here. But I want to know what's the evaluated, like what's this over here, this value, not the variable, which is going to be stored over here under value. Let's say we get this as a primary. So we can get this here only on hover, and above it we can have a reset. Maybe like this. Here. This is only on hover visible, that is. Move here, this moves over here. Move here, this moves over here. So it's gonna update when you change this. For the border radius, that's gonna be like 5 pixels or something. Yes. And how much we're live? I can't see. Yeah, 1 hour. Now I want to just see if I can set up no, I want to be able to add new variations though, as many as I want. So I'll have one main component, but I need to be able to have as many variations as I want. So this, we take it and add it over here, add new variation. It does make sense to be here, but we don't edit on the left side. That's like a rule. So anytime I think of editing on the left, nope, I gotta find something else. Anything you interact with is here, unless like hover effects. Oh, hover effects. So for the components, we may also want the hover to toggle. Like this. And I'll get this here. And this comes over here at the top, over here. So you can switch the state as well. For different states, you get different values, and the state can update over here. Wow. You automatically get 4 different, the amount of values here times 4. need to label this here as well. Like, I'll grab this. Maybe like this. This can be left aligned. But I kind of don't want it to take away from... No, this is not gonna be here. It's gonna say main normally. Like this. Here. This goes down. This comes here. And we push it a bit to the right. So that's gonna animate when you click. Well, how would you... Where did we go? How would you know you click? You can. Well, you know. So if I get this second here, it's gonna be like secondary. Oops. Come on. And the secondary one, let's say, is gonna be white with dark text and slight border color. And on the right, we're gonna have that part as well, like this. And not secondary. Oh yeah, let's call it secondary. Although it makes more sense to have this color as secondary, but I'll call it ghost. And now, if you click on ghost, this here changes. So you start editing the ghost one, and this changes as well, obviously. And that's how you can toggle between them. And if you haven't set the border radius on ghost, it's automatically going to grab it from the main component. And if I want to edit, let's say, I'll just do a single component here. I'm not going to do a second. I don't want to overcomplicate yet. So that's our main. Like this. And then we have the second one, which is going to be our ghost. And now this indicator comes here, and this goes here. And this becomes ghost. Main button. This value is taken from here, so therefore this becomes button. Then can you have primary card, large card, small card, as long as this here says card. I'm interested into, however, how if we have 15, 20, 30 components, how we're gonna see them easily. Well, obviously the search is gonna help out here, but all right, so we are editing ghost. Obviously nothing changes here as for the what is selected. We don't want this. Now I'll remove this. This just says when you hover. I better have a mouse cursor. Something transparent is enough. Every time. Thank you. Like this is a bit big, but maybe like this. Yes. And this comes over here as well because we hover like this. Now we have changed, let's say, our background to be white. Here we have white inverted. And this could be implemented in the editor, that you don't have to set the color, but I want to be able to set it, because sometimes as wrong as it would be in this setup, you may set primary for your color, the text, and the accent light is the background. Then it's wrong. Like you mess up this structure, and if you change one of the colors, you may very easily lose contrast. But let's keep it. Don't have. If there's too much limitations, it's not going to be usable. What was I doing? Yeah. So we have changed just those two, and we need to indicate they were changed. Let's say if I add this here and here. Huh. This line fails me. I'll zoom in the UI a bit more. Yeah, that basically says edited. Or I'll follow the same setup here, so it's not gonna be out there, and instead it's gonna be over here like this. To say that there were changes. No, I'll remove this. I don't like it says nothing. I mean, it works, but edit, pencil, copy, not this pencil, this one. Because it's gonna be quite small, the shape better be easy to read. Now this is a bit better. Like it looks like a line and nothing more, but while using it, you may get the idea. I'll increase it though to 16. It'd be better. Yeah, now you can see what it is actually. So now we have the main buttons. Well, not technically the main component. Whatever you set here is gonna apply to all the rest. And when you click on the next one, this one, then you can overwrite whatever has been set here, and whatever you overwrite is gonna add this icon. Again, on hover you can hit this to reset it. And you can add a new variation just by clicking on this button. And I've used the same place, even though it kind of makes sense to have the plus over here. But then if you have a big cart like this or a table, then where is the button? Underneath? Again, it could make sense, but I added it over here on the right because we have it on the same place here, and we don't want any actionable stuff on the left. Anything you click aside from technically this here is gonna be on the right panel. And then you can change the state so that you can hover over it. Nice. And then as many buttons as you want. And this is gonna be hard-coded. Having a button in the style builder, that's hard-coded in the app. You cannot remove the button, you cannot add a new component, you cannot style it like this, there's no CSS to write. This should just grow continuously to support more elements, just to preview. And then the developer may not even implement it like this. Like the button could have a slightly different shape or a some buttons will have an icon, those here don't. But often buttons would have an icon, so we could have a separate one over here that would be a button with icon, like a separate component. Oh. Yeah, it would be a separate component, even though it's still a button, it's just a component, then it would make it easier to edit and work with it. All right, so I think this is gonna be enough for now, and I have the general idea of how this is gonna work out, I guess. I think that's the whole UI, aside from obviously stacking as a lot of components over here and stacking a lot of edit stuff on here. So I think while developing this, I hope I get to make it to work in the end, but if I end up needing some other type of information from those here, like the grid over here, the layout grid and the media queries, I'll come back to the Figma file to design them first and get back to implementing them again. So hopefully, if I have the energy to start it next week, I'll try to start actually building this. For starters, at least the UI part of this alone, and then slowly start implementing the functionality behind it. And the focus maybe will be UI for this plus import and export, so that no, import and export is after I get this to actually trigger updates and everything. Thank you very much for watching. If you are watching on YouTube, the recorded video, hit a like and subscribe to see all other new updates. And if you want, you can also join our Discord, which is linked below, where we can discuss anything of this we're building here, or even you can work on the designs we'll be uploading for implementation on your own. Like this here, which started it all, the whole streaming, the Discord channel, is this portfolio concept by Yanka, which is free for use. You can grab it. And this part here was implemented before on the stream. I think over here on the design resources, you'll be able to see the link to the GitHub repository.